Do you ever feel invisible in business meetings because of your English? What if you could command the room like a CEO, even if English isn't your first language? Let me know if how this relates to you. Say something in the comments, yes or no. I've worked with hundreds of ESL people over the last 5 years, mostly IT and business people, professional people, C-suite people, who lack confidence in their English. They believe their English isn't good enough. Maybe they think it's a case of grammar or vocabulary, but generally it just comes down to confidence or how they speak to a group of people. Executive presence is the secret. Confidence is what makes the difference. Today, I'm going to show you how to speak confidently and develop executive presence in meetings so you can stand out, be heard, and get recognized as a leader. So what's the definition of executive presence? Executive presence means looking confident, speaking clearly, using language that projects authority. Let them know you're present. You are there. You are part of the team. Maybe you're leading the team. You have to let them know. Why is this important? Well, there's a statistic, and it says that according to a study by the Center for Talent Innovation, executive presence accounts for 26% of what it takes to get promoted. The study emphasizes that having a strong executive presence is crucial for career advancement. It's not just about competence, it's also about how you're perceived by others in leadership roles. We need to perfect this. This is a big part of communication. Here's a quote from Sylvia Ann Howitt, the author of Executive Presence, The Missing Link Between Merit and Success, states, "Executive presence is not about acting like a CEO. It's about conveying that you belong in a leadership position. And you can do this. It's just a case of getting your mindset and practicing and getting it together." I've had many students who have come from being not confident to a very confident leader. They had the professional skills, but they didn't have the confidence in their English. And through role-playing and practice and that, we've been able to get them there. You can do it. It's just, there's a little bit of a transformation that has to happen. We'll talk about this later. Stay tuned because I have some really good tips for you. And if you're ready to subscribe to my channel, please hit the button or share it with your friends or make a comment. I appreciate your comments. Tell me how I can do this better. Tell me what you need. Tell me the videos you'd like to see. So let's talk about some of the common mistakes that professionals make. Mistake number 1, hesitant. Hesitation due to fear of making grammatical errors. Is this you? I've had many students who come to me and say, "Oh, I need more grammar. I need to perfect my grammar. I'm always making mistakes." Well, guess what? Usually their grammar's pretty good. And some of the most successful people I've ever worked with didn't have the greatest grammar. They made little mistakes. Didn't matter. They got their message. They gave their message with confidence. How about mistake number 2? Using overly formal language, sounding unnatural or stiff. I hope I don't sound stiff. I always feel a little funny when I'm in front of a camera and not speaking to a person. A big tip is if you're speaking to a group of people, view them as friends. Stay in the now. Don't think about mistakes you might make or that you might feel like an imposter or something. Just be in the now. Do it as though they're in your living room and you're just talking about something that's happened to you. Show your personality. Show your excitement. Show what you're about. How about mistake number 3? Speaking too softly or avoiding eye contact. Both can undermine your presence. If you're doing an online meeting, do it in order that you can look directly at the camera. Maybe have a few notes that you want to bring up, a few points. Not when you speak. Speak with confidence. Look around the room if it's a live meeting. Look at people. Show that you're paying attention to them. Show them that they count and you're interested in them. So don't speak too softly. There is a time, there is a little bit of a thing that you can do at times, is to lower your voice and see if people are really listening. See if they bend forward to hear what you're saying. But this is a little bit of a trick. Try to use your voice. Use a commanding voice. Use a voice that shows confidence, so you're not unsure about yourself. Once people have gotten over some of these mistakes, they've done really well. They can get promoted in English-speaking companies. Just because you are using ESL doesn't mean that you can't get promoted. If your messages are good, if you are professionally sound, and you truly listen to people, and you identify the issues that leads to true problems, and you can talk about the implications of not taking action, and from there you make recommendations, concrete solutions that show your professionalism and show your leadership. This is what it's all about, and being very concise. You don't have to be the clown in the room. You don't have to be talking over other people, but you need to lead. You need to be concise. Show that you know your stuff and you have listened and you've analyzed the situation, you've thought about, and then you've delivered a really good message. So what are some practical tips, practical techniques you could use to speak confidently? You could use leadership phrases. I suggest we move forward. I suggest we move forward. We'll start with a pilot project. And if it delivers the results and we've worked out the bugs at that point, we can move on to implementing it into our main program. Does anybody have any objections to this? So practice different commanding phrases. Maybe if you're a project manager on the team and you've listened to what's going on and you can see that there's a issue with the timing or staying on point, and you speak what? Well, as you know, I'm the project manager with this team, and I've been listening, and I can see that we have a situation here of this occurring and that occurring, and that has led me to think that there's a problem with the resources that we have on our team. Now, if we continue this way, what will happen? I am confident that we will not be able to deliver on our promises, and we'll have to be delayed, and the client may be upset. So I recommend that we need another developer on the team, and we need more monitoring to make sure we deliver on time. How does this sound? Am I on the right path? Another technique is the power of pausing. What's this mean? Well, some people will ask a question and then they'll just pretty much keep on talking. You ask a question, you want to stop. Not necessarily wait for them to answer you, but give them a chance to process it. Give them a chance to think about it. And then, if you want, you can ask them, okay, what is your opinion? I want to hear from you. Or you can say, okay, so the way I see it is this. Let me know if you're in agreement, but pause, take a moment. Now, if you deliver some kind of opinion or something, or there's something controversial, pause. Wait for people to think, to process it. See if they have an opinion. It's very hard for people not to think about something you've said if you pause. Pausing is very important. Look at President Obama. I think he was just an excellent user of pauses. I really like his speeches. Now, the third technique is to be clear and use a direct tone. So think about what you're going to say, put it together, and then say it. Try to avoid those filler words like and like, maybe, I like to say. Get to the point. People use filler words when they haven't really thought out about what they want to communicate. So think about it, make sure you're on the right path, and if you're not on the right path, I'm sure they'll let you know. But deliver a concise message that's clear, and you do it directly in an active voice. How about how to project executive presence with body language? Here are some body language tips. Eye contact. Look at the camera if it's an online meeting. If it's not an online meeting, if you have the people with you, look around the room. Let them feel your presence. Let them see that you are participating. You're not just there with your head down, almost asleep. You don't want that. We need to demonstrate that we're part of the team or that we're the leader in the team. We have to be heard, or people will forget about us. I've had a number of students who actually were at risk of losing their jobs because they weren't speaking in meetings. They weren't being present. People weren't hearing from them. People started to wonder about their professional skills or thought maybe they couldn't understand the English or couldn't speak the English. These people were advanced. They were advanced intermediate English speakers. They knew what was going on. They were just unsure of themselves. They had to develop an executive kind of presence. A presence. They had to be seen. This is so important. Posture. Stand straight. Sit straight. Explain the impact of. There is an impact to poor posture. People will think that we're maybe lazy or we have bad habits. We're kind of a slacker. Sit straight. Show your attention. Move around a little bit. Be there. Hand gestures. Use our hands. Movement's very important. Use your hands to emphasize things. Now, some people will actually cross their arms. Imagine. That's like saying, I don't believe it. I'm stubborn. I'm not really there. I'm not listening. We need to be open. We need to really interact with the team. We're all there to find the best solutions, aren't we? Another tip is to use real life scenarios or role playing. Get in a meeting with people and just practice these things. So we might be in a meeting with a group of my students in community or something, and we're talking about a business problem. We've used ChatGPT to lay out an interesting case for us, and we go through this, and we take leadership roles, and we speak with presence. And after a while, when you do this, you build your confidence, and you'll be more and more ready to speak in real life, to show who you are. Being present and heard is just as important as being a good programmer. You need to be able to communicate what you're thinking and what you're seeing, and you do this with your presence. Sometimes you're going to have to act until you get accustomed to doing this. We say, fake it until you make it. There's also tone of our voice, right? When we're angry or we're excited or we're happy, we have a different tone to our voice, don't we? Along with body language. So there's tone, there's loudness, there's the pitch of our voice, and there's our body language. These are all things that are a big part of communication. A lot of studies show that body language and tone in that is much more important than the actual words we use. One of my students, who is a sales professional, has quite a history of working with big banks in Brazil and different countries, was just recently given the role of head of sales for a worldwide company for Latin America. And he did this because he was confident in himself and he knows his stuff. But he wasn't afraid to speak to the CEO of this worldwide company and let them know that he was ready to take on this role and that they would succeed in this marketplace because of his skills and his confidence in himself. He believes in himself. After we did a 10-week program, and I could just see the difference emerging in his English confidence through the program. This was a real transformation. Now, a good exercise, record yourself with your phone. Using tone, body language, the words, commanding language, direct language, to show that you can communicate with confidence. Do this over and over and assess yourself. Maybe send me some of your recordings and we can look at this. And remember, we say in English, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? It took a long time to build Rome, and it takes a little bit of time to build your confidence. You need to prove to yourself that you're capable of doing this, and your confidence will develop. You will transform your English communications and have the skills to be a leader if you follow these different exercises and examples in role playing. I'd like to hear what you have to say in the comments. Let me know what else you need to hear about. And I have a 10-question quiz in the description. Do the quiz and I will send you a personalized report on where you are with your business English. Are you ready to take a commanding role in the global economy? What do you need to do to get prepared? Can you work in English? Can you lead in English? Let's talk about this. And after you do the quiz, I suggest that we book a 15-minute discovery call and see what it would look like if we work together through the 10-week transformation program. Let me know what else you will need. And I hope you'll join our little group of people here. I've taught hundreds of people over the last 5 years. And before that, I was in business for over 30 years. Leading companies, leading public and private companies. I do know something about this. So thank you so much, and let's change the direction that you're going in right now.